Okay, today I'm looking at a friend of mine on Doomfist, and his video is sped up for some reason by a little bit, so I have to slow it down so it looks normal. And it also looks like there's no sound. So it's not just me talking and being awkward. Let's see. Copyright. Piano music. Background. Let's just get something in here. Sure. Oh, that's only three minutes. There we go. A minute and okay, that should be more than enough. Nice. Okay. Smooth jazz in the background. Nice. While I do a VOD review. Okay. So, he's about Plat, by the way. But first of all, punched a wall. But generally, how do I say this? Punching a Junkrat is actually really hard, especially when you don't see him. So you know he's here, right? You see him and you're like, okay, I want to go for a punch, but this angle is very hard to hit because the only way you can hit him is if the Junkrat comes down. I guess it's not Junkrat that's very hard to hit. It's just this angle of a punch is very, very difficult to do because that involves the Junkrat coming down here so that you can actually go straight. So it'd be better to just simply walk left a bit and then start charging your punch, or start charging your punch closer to the edge so that you can actually get there in time, because you spend a lot of time here just walking around the corner, and by that time Junk's backed up because he can hear you charging up. So I guess another thing you could have done, which is slightly more advanced, is here, instead of charging it up completely full, up to full, what you could do is do a quick corner jump, or not corner, just like a quick, just tap, hold, tap right click, and then press spacebar to cancel it, and then do that kind of jump. Like I guess that is a corner jump, right? Where you go straight and then you tap straight and then you go there, and then you can shift up and then shoot, and then E slam down onto him to finish off the kill or something like that. That's something you can do. That is more harder to do, of course, especially if you don't play a lot of Doomfist. But you play a lot of Doomfist, so you should be fine. It is good to practice those kind of Doomfist techs, though, like in just the custom games with 0 cooldowns, and practice punching and then pressing spacebar in the middle of it so that you get more distance, and practice. So the corner jump I'm talking about is you punch forward and then you press spacebar, and then at the same time you turn your camera to the right or to the left, so then you go to the right or to the left. There's tons of videos on this kind of stuff, and I can send you a couple if you want that. But yeah, hopefully you see the trap though, which is good, and you break that. And Junkrat's dead now because you gained your kill him. That was a nice punch, I suppose. So as a general rule of thumb, you don't want to be punching into places where you can't get out. So your cooldowns are almost back here, so that's fine, honestly. Wait, did you punch the Ryan? Shouldn't that cancel his charge? I don't know how that works. Good job not going in, though, because that's a big feed. So, like this. Although you have ult, though. But okay, what I was going to say here is... you punch in, and then you turn around and press E to get back. So getting back is good. But what you could do is you punch in, and then use your shift up, and then E back down. So generally, at least whenever I play Doomfist, and when some I play very passive Doomfist usually. So what that means is there's two ways of engaging that I use. I either use my E first, hit someone, bounce them up, shoot once, uppercut, shoot, and then I'll just punch back, and I don't ever charge it up fully. I just hold it about halfway and then punch and then jump, press spacebar to get further, so I can get back quickly. That's one combo you can do. Another combo you can do in Doomfist is like this. Here you can punch in, and then you can uppercut. You can punch and shoot, uppercut, shoot, and then use your E to get back, or depending on whether it's an indicator slam or just a normal arc slam. Ideally, an indicator slam is safer. But also, as a general rule of thumb, whenever you're playing Doomfist, you want to weave in left clicks whenever you can. So you can cancel, or you can weave in left clicks in pretty much at the end of, or like at the start of, or in between anything. So before you punch, you can left click and then punch in, and then left click, and then go up, and then left click, and then go back, or like whatever, right? So, and it takes almost no time off. The amount of time it takes to go in, to E in, shoot once, and then uppercut, and then shoot is about the same as E-ing in and uppercut, and then shoot. Except that in this scenario, in the first scenario, you get all your damage in quicker, and which means you can get out quicker. So although it takes longer to slam and then uppercut because you shoot once, it's actually faster. It's safer to do it this way, because then you finish all your damage quicker than it going in, slamming up, and then shooting out everything and then going out. So kind of loud. Oh no, spoilers. Okay. Nice kill. Oh, she's won. So like there, and earlier too, you slam and then you uppercut. But before you uppercut, you can just shoot here, and then you go up, and then you can, and then he's lower, right? That way you can get a quicker burst. But you get the kill off anyways, so that's good. Actually, let me just open up Overwatch real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. Here, while it's opening up, we can keep watching, I guess. You can't break Junkrat Trap after it's already activated, unfortunately. You could have shot him. Like here. You could have shot him here and he might have died. He probably wouldn't have died, but he might have. You don't know. Okay, it's still loading, whatever. So here on Doom, you want to get high ground. If you can. You always want high ground if you can, if it's possible as Doom. So you could have uppercutted up, but I mean, this is fine too, since you're about to get ult again. Again, you slammed and then uppercut instead of shooting. That's fine though. I assume you're going to do that the entire time, so I'm just not going to say that anymore. Mention that. Let me open up Overwatch real quick. That's nice. Nice 3k there. Hopefully your Mercy can res you, or your team can actually win off of that, which they should be able to. Wait, is your team actually gonna lose this? No way, right? Oh, that's unfortunate. So whenever Ryan charges at you, it's okay to release your punch early, because then you'll cancel his charge, and you don't have to have it fully charged up to cancel. Like if you're gonna cancel anyways, you might as well just tap it, you know, so you can actually get the cancel off instead of getting charged. But let me just open up Overwatch here. Let's see, so I can tell you what I'm talking about. Hopefully this works. Yes. Hopefully this works. So for example there, like that. So let's see, from here, just normal punch takes me to back here, right? You go here again, press space at the end, you get this far, this much further, right? So, but you can also get that far, the same as holding it down, as just like holding it and then tapping, right? So there's no need to actually completely waste time like that. And another thing, what you're doing is this: you E and then shift and then shoot. What you can do is this, and then you kill her a lot faster. So you press E and then you shoot and then uppercut and then you can shoot again. Especially since now, as you get better in Doofus and more mechanically skilled, another thing you can do is, like, whenever you slam down, see that little hop thing? Like, it pushes them up and it's very predictable. So what you can do actually is actually just that. It's, you know, or if they're slightly tankier, you can just, you know, wait to weave in more shots before uppercutting up. It doesn't really matter, but you definitely for sure want to not do that. Right, you want to do that. Right, so you shoot after you slam, and then do that, because the time it takes to do that is about the same, because you can cancel your left click with an uppercut versus that. In the time it takes to do that, you can just shoot and then do that. Corner punching, it's like that. Instead of just going straight, when you press spacebar, you look left, or you look left a little earlier too. So if you punch and then look left or right and then press spacebar. So what I said about the junk was, like, if the junk was there, right, do that, uppercut, shoot them, and then do that. Like, I missed, but you get the idea, right? Do that. That's something you can do. So the two different ways you can punch in, uppercut and then come out, or what I prefer doing, because you can get more damage in and more kills this way, is that and then punch out, versus this. Sorry, that was wrong. Versus, like, punching a tank away and then uppercutting the rest of the team and then going there, right? So because doing it this way means you punch a tank away, and if there's someone next to the tank, you can uppercut them and then get back. So for example here, I missed, but you know, the idea is the same. You have two options of this versus this, and however many shots you do is up to you. It's up to you to determine how safe you feel and how yeah. So back to the VOD. Now you get to hear the pitter patter of Anna's steps in the background, because I may want to show you something else. back to the VOD, I say, as I don't switch over back to the VOD. I'm sorry. And let me just turn down the sound in Overwatch, so you don't hear that pitter patter. Okay, now actually back to the VOD. What did we miss? Here. So whenever you play Doomfist, you always want to make sure that you don't feed. You don't. It's your life is more valuable than a kill that you might get by going in. So always keep that in mind. You don't, like, sure, you might be able to get the kill on the Sigma or the Mei, but since you've already capped here, it's better to just play it slightly slower since you have picks. Wait till you get full health and then go in. And that changes when you have ult. You can play super aggro when you have ult, similar to how Winston can play super aggro when he has his ult. But oh no, he flies right into a shatter. So you're using your punch from very far away distances, right? So you're here and you're doing it in the back of your team, whereas if you started the punch over here and just peek around the corner and then go in, you might have been able to stun the Rhine out of his punch, or you would have still have been charging when he shattered. But so the reason why you don't want to punch in from here versus from here is because from where you are currently, you have a longer distance to travel, and that means sometimes that you can end your punch right in front of the enemy. Say this is the enemy, you end it right here, but you don't get the actual punch damage in because your punch ends before you reach him, and then that's super awkward because then you're just standing there. You're like, hey, how's it going? You know, how's Overwatch? You know, there's nothing you can do besides uppercut and then E away, or just E away. Yeah, that was just unlucky though. He probably would have been able to punch the Reinhardt, but I don't know. You might have stopped right in front of him. Who knows? That's a big kill. If your Mercy can res, that'd be huge. But even if she can't, your team can get tired down. Okay. So now you should back out. You should not go for that. Junkrats are really annoying to kill. I mentioned that earlier because their concussion mine can boop you out of combos and stuff. And it's starting to rain now. I don't know if you can actually hear that or not, but so another thing that is super situational, but in this certain situation, as a general rule of thumb, you never want to slam down from your ult until your cooldowns are back. So here you do it when you don't have your E yet, and that's like, and you're super low health. So two things you want to consider when you're ulting is, do I have my cooldowns? What's my health looking like? And can I actually get a kill? So what you're doing now is acceptable if you can do it into like a grab or like a grouped area where you know for sure you can get at least one kill with it as you're coming down. Otherwise, you want to make sure if you have full health or most of your health, then you can do this as well. Or if not, then you want to 100% for sure wait so that your cooldowns are back so you can actually get shields from damage. You get a Mercy, luckily, which gives you shields, but then you can actually go in until your cooldown came back, which, albeit wasn't that long. But it's better to wait so that you do have all your cooldowns back so that you can use it just in case you might need to. So you killed a Junkrat, okay, but now you're like in the enemy team, right? But Reinhardt is low, so what you can do is you just E towards him, jump towards him with your E. Boo! You boop him up, makes your shots easy to hit, you kill him, you get shields, and you get to be positioned further away from the enemy team. It's a win-win. Instead, you go there, which is normally fine, right? Because you're like, okay, I should get back to my team. However, you need to consider what tanks you're running. You're running a Zarya and a Monkey, neither of which can help you that much, because they don't really have shields. Sure, Zarya can bubble you, sure, Monkey can bubble you, but the chances of them having that shield there at that time and having not used it already is kind of low. So it's better to just go for the kill on the Reinhardt, because you do get shields whenever you damage people as Doomfist, and that's actually huge, because if you slammed in on him and then uppercutted up, he'd be dead and you'd have a lot of shields, and then you'd live. Okay. Let's look at that again. So you punch in, okay. And then you lose track of him. So when that happens, you go for Mega, that's fine. When you lose track of him and you have no idea where he is, one thing you do not want to be doing is holding your right click. Because, at least not all the way down anyway, so you can use it to reposition and get a better look, right? You don't want to be doing that because your damage from your punch relies on you having to punch into someone, like straight into them. Whereas your uppercut or your E, you don't really need to know where they are, like especially for the uppercut. They can be just somewhere generally close to you, and you uppercut, and you might be able to hit them, right? And not only that, your uppercut will allow you to see, because you go up, and you're generally safe, especially at this elo, from a Junkrat, because they can't hit flying things. And then you can glance around real quick, and then you'll be able to see him. You're like, oh, he's here, and then you can shoot him and then punch him, and he's dead. That's just unlucky, though. He jumps away, and that's another reason why Junkrats are super annoying to kill as Doomfist, because they can use Concussion Mine to reposition themselves, and then it's super annoying, because you lose sight of them. So another thing you're doing is you're charging up your punch for a really long time. So at this point, your punch already does max damage, and it's already the max distance. But you hold it down for just a little bit longer than you have to, right? So let's see. What you're doing is this, pretty much. Whereas you can just be doing that. So instead of doing this, just let go as soon as you get. And honestly, a lot of the times you don't even have to, especially since the Rhine was already kind of low. You don't have to charge up all the way. That's a problem I personally have too. I charge up all the way and then I punch, right? I usually do this, and then that means I'm losing a lot of time just sitting there charging. Whereas if I just do that, like, I don't have to charge it all the way to deal a lot of damage. As long as there's a wall. Even if there's not, you can usually kill them like that, right? A couple shots. Or like, you know. So, moral of the story, you don't always have to charge it up all the way. And if you do, just let go as soon as you get it. You don't have to hold it down for a super long period of time. Okay. So you miss the punch, and then you go for a shift into him. If you had gone for the uppercut, he would have died. So again, generally your combos as Doomfist is, if you engage with punch, you uppercut, and then you use E to get out. If you engage with E, you uppercut, and then use punch to get out. Those are generally your two cooldowns. You always want to use one of these two as the initiator. One of these two as the initiator and the get out movement ability. In this case, you punched in with this one, so you want to uppercut as soon as you punch in. Uppercut, shoot, or punch in, shoot, uppercut, shoot, and then use this to get out. Or you can use this to get in, shoot, uppercut, shoot, get out with punch. So generally there are times, like as you play more and become more comfortable on Doom and recognize the situations more, you can find yourself in situations where you don't need to use an ability to get out because you're confident enough that you can get a kill and that you will survive without doing it. In which case, you can just use it for more damage. Or if you have ult, for example. But generally, as a general rule of thumb, if you punch to get in, you want to use your E to get out. Almost always use your shift as damage. And if you E to get in, you want to use your punch to get out. So, you like using your punch to get in a lot. And specifically to use it to get damage in a lot, right? Which is fine, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to hit someone with a punch than it is to hit someone with your E, because with your E you have this like cone area of damage where you can hit them and deal damage, and then you uppercut, and then you can use punch to get out. So my preferred way of playing Doomfist is to use the E to get in, uppercut, and then punch to get out, because that's just a lot easier than actually punching. Just something to think about. And also, you always play frontline Doomfist, which is fine, especially now, honestly. In the meta, most of the time it's frontline Doomfist, which I don't like, because it's not as fun. But, so what you can be doing instead... okay, let me trace back. Frontline Doomfist. It's fine. It's a valid playstyle of Doomfist. However, it only works... Well, I say it's not only works. It's meta right now because of Orisa Sigma. You have double shields. Orisa can pull, and then you can go in and stuff like that. But so the problem with doing it like playing with this comp is if you go in, you're kind of... It's hard to find damage. I feel like it's better, especially since this is quick play, I believe, right? This is quick play, and against lower ranked people, it's a lot better to flank Doomfist. You can just get so much more done that way because people at this elo, and in quick play in general, they don't check their surroundings as much. But you're playing in the front a lot, which is fine, but it makes your job kind of... So it makes it harder because people can see you coming, and then they can react to you and whatnot, and like dodge you or whatever. Whereas if you had gone up high ground and then use your E to drop down on someone, not only would the E do a lot of damage, but you'd also... like, people wouldn't be able to see you coming. And then, because E does more damage the higher up you are, right? So, all in all, Doomfist is a super mobile character. Use, like, you definitely want to be using him to get around, like, use uppercut to get to high ground. In between fights, so that later on you can do this, right? You can drop down, you can flank. Like, it's super easy to flank as Doomfist. You get around so quickly, right? Obviously, I have 0 cooldowns, but even in an actual game, you flank. Let's say people are playing here. You can, honestly, if you really wanted to, you can come this way, so they don't see you. And this is low ground now. But it's still a flank. You can still go like this, get a kill, jump back out to where your team... If they're here, hopefully your team's here, right? And then you can get healing, And then you can go in if you want to punch engage. If you want to punch engage, you can do that. Use that to get out. But generally what I like doing is this, because it's so much easier, because you have this entire cone, right? You don't even need to be looking at them, and they'll still be hit. Whereas a punch, you have to be looking straight at them. You have to be looking straight at them. If you look slightly to the side of them, you won't hit them. Generally, you won't hit them, right? And you have to predict where they are. Whereas with an E, if they're there and they move to the left or to the right, I'll still probably hit them with the cone because it's this massive cone. So definitely want to be flanking a lot more. He is a flanker after all. But so all in all, that's all I have for you. That's all I have to say, I think. Definitely learn to be more mobile as Doomfist. Just come into a custom game with some Ana bots, no cooldown, just to get a feel for how he works, right? So I guess I can go into basics of Doomfist mobility, although I'm sure you know a lot of it. There's a normal slam, arc slam, which does 49 damage, and there's indicator slam, which usually actually does less than an arc slam. So arc slam on the ground, that much. Arc slam from the sky, or from high ground, 94, right? Whereas an indicator slam, only 58. Because the way the slam damage is calculated is it's based on time spent in air, I believe. And also, so you spend more time in the air in the arc than just going straight at them. Another thing you can do, it's based on your current height above the ground. So if you jump over a gap, you can do one of these indicator slams, they're called, and so you can get to people faster rather than just whoop, doing an arc slam, which takes longer. So corner punches, letting go, pressing spacebar. You can generally bounce yourself up on most objects, on a lot of objects in certain maps that are like slanted. I'm not very good at it, but it is something you can do, like this. Well, let's see. Here, for example, that's kind of slanted by pressing spacebar before you hit it. Alright. That thing looks like something you can jump off of. Yeah, it does, and you get a little elevation, right? Another thing. It's nice to learn simple rollouts. Like, slanted roofs are your friend, because then what you can do is this. And if they're playing here, you get to them. And they generally won't see you coming. What you can do is do that for more damage. So you wait a bit to press E, because then you spend more time in the air. Versus just going straight in on them, which they can see you. Well, I mean, you can do that too, but if there's the option of going unnoticed, that's better. There's also, you can do this here, but I mean, it's nice to learn rollouts like that, but in most cases you won't have to do that. But yeah, you can, on most slanted surfaces or small elevated things, right before you hit this, you press spacebar and you go high. It's easy to show on things like this, whereas if I just go straight at it, I'll still go up, but I won't go as up. An example is like that. I think you can bounce off of that as long as you press spacebar before. Notice how I go up. Whereas if I just hit it straight on, I also go up. But it's this is a bad map because I don't know of many places where I can actually bounce up. But it's just all about going to, like, see there, I hit that, and I pressed space before I hit it, so I bounced up. It's just going around to maps and learning where, or it just comes with experience, right? All these things. But the most important things that you should know, I guess, we should definitely practice is just this, just tapping and pressing space after release, because then, and corner jumps are super important too, because then corner jumps, right? Because then you can surprise people from around corners. And so, like that Junkrat example earlier, so say you know the Junkrat's around the corner there, you can go in on them, use shift. So also another thing, generally whenever you're engaging with punch, generally you don't want to, you just use it, so you tap spacebar to use it to get within range of them, and then you uppercut. And then you can use that to finish them off, or use it to get back. So it's, yes, you can punch them, but unless there's a wall behind them and it's a tank, you know. Generally, punches are hard to hit. They're just hard to hit, and it's a lot easier to just get within range of them and then uppercut than it is to just, you know, especially long punches. And long punches are predictable because it takes a long time to charge up, and then it's, you know, you're slow. Whereas this is a lot faster. Let's see. So you can just, so say there's like an eraser right here, right? Or Reinhardt, whatever. One thing you can do if you're frontlining, you can just use this to push them back. You just punch them back, but then because your momentum stops as soon as you hit something with punch, you'll stop here, and then you still go flying back, and then you're still safe because you're near 13 or whatever. So there's just lots of things to know as Doomfist. I think you can bounce off this. Maybe. But it's just, it's important to be mobile. With Doomfist, so your gameplay looks like this as Doomfist, right? You come here, you see someone, you charge up, and then you let go, and then you punch someone, and then, you know, maybe do that. Maybe do this. You're kind of very slow as Doomfist, and you just want to increase your APM, your actions per minute. You want to be doing more things. Doomfist is a fast character, so the faster you can do things, right, like that, you get away from safety, do damage, get out. The faster you can get in, deal damage, and get out, the safer you will be, the less you will feed, and the more you will do overall. So yeah, if you want, you know, to know videos where they just have, like, there's a lot of videos where there's just rollouts of Doomfist rollouts that you can do. It's definitely good to know about those. They're not super important, but they can be useful. Just like using the environment to your advantage. I'm just rambling at this point. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, you know, just ask. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I kind of made this a lot longer than it had to be because I'm really tired and I'm just rambling. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you later.